Good morning, YouTubers. This is Jerry from San Antonio, Texas, and we're going to talk about the LS400 and the timing marks. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you the timing marks and your alignment. Now, don't pay attention right now to the belt right here, because after so many revolutions of the right cam pulley and stuff like that. This is right here is the passenger side. Okay, this is your coil wire that ignites your cylinders, and they cross over. Here's one of your coils, and the other coil, if you can see, is down here. This is your driver side. Your coil from down here or down below is going into here, which will fire the plugs. Now they cross over from side to side. Now, if you have fuel, you have fire, and you have air, and your car, your Lexus LS400, the 4.0 baby V8 is not firing, and of course this is leaking right here. This is plastic. This needs to be changed. Going through this car, you're going to look down and you're going to see the timing mark. Your crank is set at 0. Now, if you look, this is the passenger side. If you look, it's this right here. I pulled this back so we could have wires, so you don't have the wires in the way. Everybody's thinking that this right here, whoever marked it, there's a notch, but right here on the front, look real close, there's a notch. That mark right there on the passenger side cam, right, should be lined up with this mark right here. And there's a notch in the back, but I'm mainly focused on this one right here. Okay, and when I'm looking at it, is it in line? Am I lined up? And I'm trying to get it out of the way so I can see. And that should be lined up with this mark right here. That's how you check your timing on the cam on the passenger side. Very difficult to do. So if you look down, you check your timing mark or 0 on your crank. You look up in here, and on the front of the crank you have a notch right there. It should be lined up, not with this or anything else or this. It is this back here. That mark should be lined up. And then if you come over on this side, okay, you're not looking. A lot of people look at that tab right here. That's not what you're looking at. This is on the driver's side and the passenger side. Both of them have it. You're looking at back here. This is also marked too. Now the notch, there's a notch back on this one back also, and that also is going to be lined up with the line or the beveled part that's sticking out. That should be in line and in tune on the driver's side. Now, what was going on with mine, okay, was I was thinking it was a fire issue, stuff like that. It wasn't that. I changed the caps, okay, and I changed the rotors that are underneath. You pull all this out, and what was basically going on was the tensioner, and I'll show you that right now. The tensioner, which is this, your belt tension adjuster, I'm sorry, your belt adjuster, which is held in by those two bolts. This right here was bad. So what it did, I was getting a code for the driver's side. I was getting a code for the driver's side cam position. I was on this bank. I was getting a code for a driver's side or a cam position sensor, when in fact this on the passenger side, this one was out. The crank was in time. The driver's side was in time. The passenger side, due to that adjuster that I showed you underneath the car, all the way underneath, that's held in by 2 bolts, that adjuster was not keeping tension. Now, if you have an adjuster that is out of adjustment, you have a tensioner that is behind all this stuff right here when you're doing a timing belt. The tensioner is pushed by the adjuster pushing up on it, and it's hitting the longest side of the belt. When you hit the longest side of the belt, it's creating that tension to push on the belt. The adjuster is pushing on the tensioner to adjust the tension on the long side, the longest side of the belt on the motor. And when that failed, basically in short, when it failed, this side, the timing mark, was off by 2 to 3 teeth. Now, the car will still run with 1 tooth off. It might run with 2 teeth off. When it hits the 3rd tooth and it's 3rd tooth off, the car senses that, the computer knows that, and what it does is it shuts the car off from catastrophic damage. So, before you start going crazy, okay, check if you got fuel, you got fire, and the car is not starting, and you got air, check, and you have no codes, check your timing. If your timing is off, if the belt is stretched, if the adjuster was not changed, the hydraulic adjuster may have failed, and it more than likely will affect the passenger side, the longest side of the belt, because this is all close together. This will be off. Now, you keep driving the car with the adjustment out, or say the timing off on this side, or the timing off on this side, or down here, or however, whoever messed it up, however it worked, or however it failed. Basically what will happen is you will start getting misfires. It'll start running too rich, too lean, and over time what will happen, at least what happened on this one, and if you look underneath of what I'm doing, I pulled out the rear, the rear O2 sensor. You got the catalytic converter, and then above that, right above the catalytic converter, I don't know if you can see it, is going to be a hole where the other O2 sensor is dangling, right there, okay, which goes up into the top, okay. And basically what was going on, if you look, you've got this cat, you got the other cat. These are your balancers. Okay, well, anyway, what was going on, it was burning, it plugged up this cat. And when it plugged up this cat from burning off, because the timing was off, it made this whole side all the way down to right there, to the middle section. It made that burn cherry red. Now, if you are questioning whether or not your exhaust is plugged, because after I did the timing, it started running kind of funny. And when it was running funny, I drove it anyway, and I tried to kind of force it. But this is after all the damage is already done, as far as the timing's been off and it's shut off. Okay, these are wonderful cars, but with time, with them running wrong, basically in short, what will happen is that with the timing or the firing of this cylinder, this bank or this distributor cap, if it's off because the belt's off, this one's probably good. That's probably, that's probably in time. This might be off, and if it's throwing it all off, it's missing as far as spark, and it's dumping fuel too rich, too lean. Goes through the catalytic converters, because you got two catalytic converters. It goes down to both of them, and it can plug them. Once your exhaust is plugged, the best way to check for that is to fire it up. If it still feels like it's underpowered, it's fighting and struggling to run, what you do is unplug the O2s, like unbolt the O2s, and see if it helps the runnability. If it's dying under, like if it's just having a hard time running, you push on the gas, it's wanting to go, but it really can't go, then what's going on is it's you got too much back pressure in the vehicle. So the best thing to do is to create a vacuum leak. So you take out the O2s upstream before the catalytic converter to create an exhaust leak. You create an exhaust leak so you can see if it makes a difference in the runnability. Now, I knew that my cats were plugged because, or the one on the passenger side, because it was glowing cherry red at night. My brother was with me when I was doing it, and it basically was clogged. So when I was driving, it's trying to push through a plugged catalytic converter. It's still running. It's not running right. But if you keep running it when it's not right, out of time, or it's plugged, you can blow, you can blow the head gasket, you can blow the intake gasket under all this crap, under the plenum. You can blow all the gaskets. You can blow this head gasket, and now you're into a world of hurt. So I hope this helps some of you guys, and I wish you the best.